I'm here with Ibrahim, and today we're going to be doing a part 2 mock test.
Been waiting.
It's been a waiting.
Yeah.
Is that you?
It's me, but it's a very old picture.
Can you read the number plate on the white car?
LL19 TSU.
Identify where the engine oil would go, and how would you check it?
You identify the dipstick, you pull it out, you clean it off, you dip it back in, and then you check that the oil level is between the minimum and the maximum.
Perfect. That'll do. That's it. You can close it up. For any of you that are new to the channel, a part 2 mock test is one of the tests you need to do in order to qualify as a driving instructor. Part 1 is the theory, part 2 is the driving test, and part 3 would be the instructor ability test. This one is a little bit special. You may remember this man who's been on a few videos. This is Mini Miz. But he's a man in his own right. Please give him some love in the comments because he's come up here to do this for the channel. And you've never done anything like this before, have you?
I haven't done a mock test, no.
Tell me a little bit about your driving experience. How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
22, so we're on the younger end of the spectrum here, right?
Yeah.
So we've spoken about this off camera, haven't we?
We have.
Okay, so age is not a barrier.
Definitely
It's about
not.
mentality, isn't it?
100%.
What about driving? What's your driving history like?
So I got my license when I was 17. So
Okay.
since about 17 or 18, I've been
Okay.
driving.
So
about
that's what, 3-4 years?
3-4 years.
3-4 years of experience? Have you taken a part 2?
I have taken a part 2.
How did that
Yes.
go?
It didn't go well.
Okay.
You know, I had quite a few mistakes.
Did you have more than 6 driver faults?
Yeah, because one turned. So I had one for progress driving, which was actually like 3, so it turned into a.
That went into a series.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had accumulation faults as well. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. You've been doing a lot of practice, haven't you?
I
since
have,
then?
yeah.
Okay, so this is your next part 2. You don't need to say when it is. That's absolutely fine if you're not comfortable with that. But it's not too far ahead, is it?
No, it's
too
quite.
far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's close.
Not long after filming this, Ibrahim went out and smashed his part 2. He's now on a training license.
Is there anything in your driving that you feel is not quite where it needs to be?
I think I think my driving in general is okay, but I think it's particular like roads, like roundabouts, for example.
Okay.
And I've seen in some of your videos, you've got like these big roundabouts, maybe 3-4 lanes, and I think on those kind of roads and those kind of things, I struggle a bit. You know, like lane discipline and things like that.
Staying in your lane or picking the right lane?
Staying in your lane.
Okay.
Staying in your lane as well as that planning as well, which I seem to struggle a little bit on.
If you are interested in doing a mock test on the channel, whether you're a learner driver or a PDI, then I'll put my Instagram down here. Follow me, send me a DM, and then we can talk about it. And just like always, like, comment, and subscribe because it really does boost the video, it pushes it out to a wider audience, and I really do appreciate the support.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button.
Didn't have to push you at all there. Fog lights. Tell me how you put them on, and when would you use them?
You'd use the fog lights when visibility is reduced to less than 100 meters in front of you.
Okay.
And you'd operate the switch here.
Okay.
So that one.
Okay. Cool. I like that. There's going to be a little bit more information down here. And tell me how you'd adjust your head restraint to give you the best protection in the event of a crash.
So you'd make sure that the rigid part of the headrest is at least to your eye level or just above the ears, and making sure that it's as close to your head as possible.
Okay. The test is going to last about an hour. At all times, I like you to follow the road ahead, unless I tell you to turn left or right, or unless road signs indicate otherwise. If I need you to turn, I should tell you in good time. We're going to take in 2 reversing manoeuvres, possibly an emergency stop, and I'll be asking you some safety questions when we're on the drive as well. And we're going to be following sat-nav for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And we're going to drive in all different varied types of road conditions. Okay?
All right.
Or road types. Yes?
Yes.
Cool with that?
Okay.
And obviously when it comes to result, you'll get it at the end. We'll talk about it at the end. All right, so we're going to start melting here soon. So when I see you next, when we see you next, we'll be starting this thing.
Ibrahim is the son of a friend of mine, and in order to help him out, I suggest he just warms up to get used to the car. He goes to reverse and doesn't look
Tell you
around.
what we'll do. Why don't you, this is not part of the test, why don't you back up, drive on from here, and then take the first road on the right, and then pull up on the... So just so you can have a feel of what this...
This doesn't count towards his test, but if you're a PDI in training, at no point let the ball drop. Keep your standards high. We just drive around the corner and we start the test from there.
Whenever you are ready, Drive on.
Although he doesn't seem it, he's probably a little bit nervous, and at this first junction, he stutters on the clutch and slightly rushes it.
And at the end of the road, turn right, please.
He correctly picks first gear, but as he goes to move off, he just brings the clutch a little bit too quickly. This makes him second guess his gear, and we're stuck slightly in the road. This is not his car, but for a Part 2, you would be expected to have expert control. At the next mini roundabout, he drives across it.
And at the roundabout, turn right for me, please.
Some mini roundabouts are just not built right, but he could have done better here. He didn't need to go round, but he just went across like it wasn't there. The next couple of junctions he does well, and then we're doing the right reverse exercise.
And then I'd like you to find somewhere to pull up on the right in a safe place for me, please.
He takes his time and picks a suitable spot.
Okay, so we're going to reverse the car back about 10 meters, keeping reasonably close to and parallel to the curb. So whenever you're ready, drive on.
Ibrahim ultimately does well here. He stops for all oncoming vehicles and is completely aware of his surroundings. There is a pedestrian just coming up the pavement, and he chooses to keep the car moving. It's not how I would have done it, but he still does it safely. I can't say that he wasn't aware of the pedestrian.
Okay.
That'll do. Yeah, that's fine. We're now going to follow the sat-nav for a period of approximately 20 minutes. If at any stage you're not sure where you're going, you can ask. So whenever you're ready, drive on.
Ibrahim looks around the car, doesn't prep the gear, and signals just before this van comes past. If you look, there aren't any other vehicles. Was that signal, or the timing of it, necessary? I don't think it interfered or affected anybody, but in this case, it's just noted. A little further up the road, he again drives across a mini roundabout. Even though it says in the highway code you must drive round them, sometimes that's impossible, but again, he could have done a bit better there.
And if you could just pull up on the left, just before that vehicle, and there's enough space there, it's hard to see. Yeah, just before that vehicle, leave about a car length of space.
This is the move away at an angle, and again, when Ibrahim goes to move away, he signals just as a vehicle is approaching.
That'll do. Brilliant. Drive on when you're ready. You okay?
There isn't another vehicle coming up behind, and he shouldn't really be applying the signal just as that vehicle approaches. However, again, I'm just going to put this as noted. This next roundabout, although the learner driver in front led by example, he does well. The next right turn, he ignores a solid white line, and this could go down as a serious. However, On the day, I just put it as a driver fault.
Turn right, then go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
There isn't another vehicle there, but that solid white line shouldn't be crossed so easily. On the day, I marked that down as turning right, but that could easily have
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit.
been response to road markings, in which case that would have escalated to a serious. A little further up the road, we're entering a dual carriageway and he's starting his progress drive. He does make good progress, but he pushes up on the left-hand side when there's a vehicle in the middle lane.
By the way, I don't talk to you guys too much during these things, and that may be better. Like, are you okay with that, or would you prefer me to talk to you a little bit?
I don't mind, it's up to you really, but I like to stay a bit focused.
Then I'll stay quiet, okay?
No worries.
He is approaching a traffic light, and for this reason, he kind of gets away with it, but he does pass the vehicle in the left-hand lane. I'm going to say that his lane was moving faster than the middle lane, but it wasn't necessary. The better option would have been to move to the right to pass. He then again does something similar a little further on. Really, he should be looking to make progress and pass if possible, especially as the speed limit is 50 and he's only just about breaking 40. Burying yourself in the left-hand lane does not show good planning. I could have marked it that way too, but I'm going to put this down as progress appropriate speed. This time though, he chooses not to go past in the left-hand lane, and that may be because of the vehicle up ahead. He then decides he wants to move round, but he doesn't and just sits behind this silver vehicle in front, and he's a little bit close. He's within the 2 seconds and he sustains it for a bit too long. He then notices possibly that the roundabout is coming up, so he chooses to move back to the left.
After 400 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Ibrahim keeps good lane discipline throughout this roundabout, but on the following roundabout, the apex corner, he doesn't signal to turn right, third exit.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
On a spiral roundabout, it's not always essential that you are signalling right if you're turning right third exit, as your lane does lead you to your exit, but it does confirm your intention to turn right. At this roundabout, there are 3 possible lanes that you can use also to turn right, and Ibrahim chooses the middle.
After 400 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit. Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
The argument for not signalling is that your lane simply goes to that destination, so therefore it's not necessary, and people might think that you're trying to change lanes. But here is the problem. If you have a vehicle on your right-hand side, who suddenly decides they want to follow the road ahead. That would increase the risk. The signal would confirm your intention to turn right and hopefully prevent a potential vehicle from making that mistake. Ibrahim now makes an error with normal driving position, holding the middle lane for the entirety of this section of dual carriageway. This in itself could go down as a serious fault, but on the day I just put it as a driver, and the reason why is because of the proximity of the traffic up ahead. I can see, however, where his indecision lies. He's at speed limit and is slowly gaining on the vehicles ahead, but he could easily have moved back to the left, and then as he got closer, move back out and around. And if we rewind the tape to when he came off the roundabout, he had plenty of opportunity to move back to the left. The next roundabout, he again chooses not to signal right when turning right, 4th exit.
Go right on the roundabout and take the 4th exit.
This lack of signal, for me, is worse because the lane he's in, he could follow the road ahead, which means the vehicles trying to emerge onto the roundabout from the dual carriageway opposite
all over the place.
could benefit from his signal.
Take the exit.
For this reason, I've chosen to put this as a serious fault for necessary signal. And on a side note, for any learner drivers or anyone else that's watching, this is why lane discipline is so important. This red car encroaching his lane posed a bit of a risk. Always stay in your lane. Ibrahim now makes good progress into this 40 zone, and a little further up the road, I'm asking him the show me tell me questions on the move.
And just when it's safe to do so, if you could open a side window for me, please. Brilliant. Thank you very much. And again, when it's safe to do so, if you could activate your rear demister for me, please. Brilliant, thank you.
With that out of the way, at the next junction we're turning left. He gets a little bit confused about where we're going and he asks me a little bit late. This affects his approach speed to junction.
After 300 yards, turn left.
Because his speed's too fast, his steering is affected and he hits the curb. He also approaches this blind junction a little bit fast.
Do you want me to follow this?
This one here, just by the bollard.
With the speed, the curb, and the fact it was a blind junction, this is a serious fault for turning left. Soon, we're looking for a suitable spot to pull up on the left to do the emergency stop.
And once you've gone around this bend, if you could just find somewhere to pull up on the left in a safe place for me, please. Anywhere along here that's safe. Okay, so we're now going to do the emergency stop exercise. Okay, I'd like to bring the car to an immediate and abrupt halt and full control. My signal will be stop, and I will be making sure it's nice and safe behind us. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, drive on when you're ready.
Ibrahim gets the car moving, but then a vehicle approaches from behind, so we have to pull over and start again.
Could you do me a favour? Could you again just pull up on the left, safe place, because we've got a vehicle behind. Anywhere along here is fine. That's safe. Just here on the left will do.
This now takes us closer to the national speed limit section of this road, so it looks like that's where we're going to be doing
So
it.
we're just going to let these guys come past. Okay. So if there's nothing coming up behind us, drive on.
Ibrahim does well here though. His braking is prompt and he does good effective observation before moving away.
And stop. Brilliant. I won't ask you to do that again. Drive on when you're ready. Brilliant.
He now has the country lane to deal with, which is, as you know, national speed limit. He has a slight issue with gear
Okay,
choice.
so I'll be directing you as normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the bends, he appears to be prioritising eco-safe driving rather than grip, as he's choosing high gears for these turns. Choosing 4th gear for this tight chicane. His approach speed is fine, however, it's just the choice of gear. And then, as he's driving to the bottom of the hill and approaching another bend, he looks like he wants to drop gears, but he chooses to maintain 4th. Although he has his speed under control, the use of gears here would have been far better in a lower gear. So for this reason, it's a driver fault for use of gears. This may seem a little bit harsh, but prioritising eco-driving when you should be thinking about grip and control is not the right idea. He does, however, balance his defensive drive and progress drive on this country lane. A little further up the road, we're rejoining the dual carriageway and national speed limit, heading back down towards Mill Hill. On this section, Ibrahim does well. He picks up speed nicely, making good progress, and does maintain the left-hand lane. When he goes to overtake a slower moving vehicle, however, he then persists in sitting in the middle when he should be moving back to the left. There aren't, however, any vehicles coming up behind, but he should now be moving back to the left. He is gaining on this other slower moving vehicle, but he's not there yet. I chose on the day to give him the benefit of the doubt, so this is just noted, but he did have an opportunity to move back. Once he passes these vehicles though, he does move back to the left, and then there's an approaching slip road which he should have considered. But considering he's been in the middle lane all this time, I don't blame him for wanting to get back to the left, but this upcoming sign should have warned him of the approaching junction. Does, however, move out safely when he sees the approaching vehicles, if not a little bit later than he could have. At the next roundabout, he chooses the middle lane to follow the road ahead. With the lack of road markings, I don't really blame him for that. And at this roundabout, that's just fine.
Okay, so the roundabout, which is about 800 yards ahead, we're going to follow the road ahead to the second exit.
This roundabout he manages well, and then on the other side he just gets slightly caught out with speed, hitting about 53 miles an hour in a 50. Even though he does bring the speed back down, he does sustain it for a bit too long. It can be an easy mistake to make, especially if you're trying to make progress and pass vehicles in the left-hand lane. He then does move back to the left, but he takes his time. And then nicely considers using cruise control, which is definitely recommended if possible to maintain speed and reduce fuel consumption. At the next roundabout we're turning left, and then the following one he's turning right, third exit. We hit a little bit of traffic, so I'm just going to jump ahead. This roundabout is nasty, and it's not a spiral. He gets caught out by the traffic and stuck in the right-hand lane, but he still chooses to take the exit. It is unfortunate, and it's not his fault that the traffic is there, but really, he should be going round again. Forcing your way into traffic is definitely going to interfere with somebody. He gets incredibly close to this silver van, so this is a serious fault for turning right. We are now not far from the end of this test, and it's just the parallel park to do, so we're going to jump to that.
So we're going to use this car here. I'd like to pull up next to it and then reverse the car back in, finishing off within the 2 car lengths, reasonably close to and parallel to the curb. And obviously we're doing the reverse parallel park here. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay?
Okay.
Drive on when you're ready.
Ibrahim has forgotten that his left signal is on as he pulled up, and he goes to move away with it still on. It cancels, and even though there's nobody there, it's the wrong signal. Ibrahim makes a mistake on his observations here. When he goes to reverse, he doesn't initially check that right blind spot, and there is a pedestrian there. For this reason, because he's moved the car, this is a serious fault for observations on the parallel park. He does now, however, demonstrate good all-round observation. It's just a shame he didn't do that right blind spot before he moved. And although this is a little bit harsh, he does move the vehicle further back than the 1 car length of space he should be leaving. So this is a driver fault for control on the parallel park.
Okay, that'll do. Drive on when you're ready.
He moves away safely. We take the next junction, and that's the end of the test.
All right, you can relax now. I kind of feel like we're just going to need to leave the engine running because it's 27 degrees today. How was that?
Not good.
Okay. Tell me why it wasn't good.
Well, I hit the curb. Well, I think I went over the curb, I'm pretty sure. And also that roundabout, it was a bit tight and I think I was in the wrong lane.
Okay. You were turning right, third exit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you saw my right foot come up.
I saw after, because, yeah.
You got really close to the vehicle, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't plan it properly either. He just came and obviously I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's what we're here for anyway. And this whole process is to find, like, the stress test. That's what we said at the beginning, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, so if I say pass or fail, what would you say?
I'd say fail.
Okay, and for the reasons that you just stipulated?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely for those two, definitely.
Okay, that would have been a fail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of these because I feel like it's really impersonal. I'm hazarding a guess that you're concerned about eco-safe driving.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I mentioned it, because I thought in some places where I was supposed to be maybe dropping a gear, I wasn't, and in some where I should have been in a bit of a higher gear.
I want to like on that country lane, for example.
Yeah.
You're not using your gears. Eco-safe. Which one takes priority?
Safety.
And yet, for you, it appears that it's eco that takes priority. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think overall you've got a good base. I can see that within your basics and stuff like that. I can see it's good. There is good stuff in here. Okay. You're a bit like a rough diamond. I see the potential, but you've got a bit of work to do. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about, when you're doing a part 2, we're talking about a professional drive. We're not talking about a driving test.
Yeah.
We're talking about a professional drive. And as a professional driver, you have to demonstrate. That's when you're thinking about gears and stuff, like really what should take priority, the control of the vehicle or...
Definitely the
And I know
control.
EcoSafe has come in and it always used to be advisory before. So you highlighted that curb. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're approaching that junction. You weren't sure where you were going.
Do you want me to follow this?
This one here, just by the bollard. And you left it really late to ask me. We had a vehicle behind us as well. At what point would have been a good idea? Like, if you weren't sure,
Yeah, probably quite a bit further back.
you could have just said to me, I'm not sure where we're going. And I would have said just after the pub. It was just late. Put you under pressure, which meant your approach speed, your timing of signal was late. Your approach speed was a bit high. Yes?
I think that, yeah, that's probably also the factor towards why I went over.
And then you mounted the curb.
Yeah.
Because you turned in. And that bend is nasty.
Yeah, I've seen it in the videos. I've seen people, I'm pretty sure someone that I watched the other day, he went over it as well.
Signals. I'm going to go to signals here first, right? So you did both the Apex corner and the Mill Hill... No, Apex corner and Sterling corner without a signal turning right. Now the first one I kind of feel like it's still necessary because I know we're in the middle lane and it's a multiple lane and it's a spiral, but you didn't put it on the first one. We've got vehicles left and right. And then on the Sterling corner you also didn't put it on. That guy was all over the place.
Take the exit.
Now the first one was less risky. For me, Sterling Corner's worse because you've got traffic coming off the dual carriageway and then you're getting them to rely on your positioning and speed. What would happen? Because the lane we were in, where else could we have gone?
Could have been in the middle.
No, the lane you were in,
Yeah.
you were turning right.
Okay.
Where else could you have gone from that lane?
You could have gone like to any of the...
Not any other one, because there's like 4. 1,
So one,
Two,
you could have been
three.
in the right as well. And
you were in the right.
the far right.
Your lane discipline was great. You followed the correct lane to turn
Okay.
right. That wasn't a problem.
Okay, I think...
But you could also have gone ahead from that lane.
Okay. So would it have been better for me to be in the...
No, your lane was fine. Signal.
Okay. Just a signal.
This is a bit harsh. I serious faulted you for it.
Yeah.
Because I felt that signal should be on.
Yeah.
The traffic that's coming, as you're coming around the roundabout,
Yeah.
that traffic that's looking to enter the roundabout, what if they just...
Yeah. They need to know, kind of. You know, it's better to let
Why are
them
you
know.
not putting your signals on when you turn right?
I don't know.
Do you normally signal when you turn right on roundabouts?
Yeah, I think so.
So what was your thought process there?
I don't know, honestly.
Lost
I
it?
don't know.
It's all a blur.
Yeah.
It's a blur. Mill Hill Circus, that big roundabout. You're approaching the right-hand lane. You've then tried to exit from the right-hand lane.
Yeah. And I realised that should have been...
But you still went for it.
Yeah. I should have just followed it, at least followed it all the way around, but just
Yeah.
not... Yeah.
But you've gone kind of, I'm not going to say knee-jerk reaction, maybe knee-jerk reaction. You just went for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you saw my right foot come up over the brake. Because you got so close
Yeah.
to the vehicle there.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that.
With the parallel park, you started the whole thing, no right blind spot check.
On the reverse, I didn't check the right blind spot.
You did, but not straight away.
Okay. Before?
Look this side, started reversing, and then eventually you check over your shoulder. But that's not how.
No, you're supposed to do that beforehand.
And there was a pedestrian. So that's a serious fault. That's why you got to check it before, because if you're not aware there's a pedestrian there, what if they walk behind the car? What could happen there?
You could hit them.
And remember, you're going to be teaching. The driver faults, I didn't quite like how right at the beginning, little clutch. Let's not worry about that. Is this your car? There was a slight clutch issue. Got a slight following distance.
I definitely, I knew as well, because once we got on, I was like, I know I'm a bit too close.
If I go over what I would consider to be your biggest weaknesses are, right? I didn't always fault this. Defensive driving. I want you to think defensively. Sometimes you're pulling up next. We were in the left lane. You were zoomed right up. There's a car in the middle lane. We didn't go past them. But why are we there? Do you remember that?
In the left-hand lane?
Yeah, there was a car in the middle lane. Should they be in the middle lane? Where should they be?
They should be in...
And that would allow you to do what?
Overtake them, yeah.
Yes, but they're not. They're there in the middle lane. You in the left lane come right up.
It would have been best to just stay back or...
Then you got trucks on your left-hand side, and you're going past them like it's cool. Then you go on the roundabout, and the guy was all over the place, and yet you're still choosing to be next to them. Do you trust everybody?
No.
What does defensive driving mean?
Defensive driving. It's like, I don't know how to explain it now. It's like, is it like when you're driving in a manner where you're almost protecting yourself from other road users and, thinking about it, making sure that anything that other people do could affect you and, just keeping that in mind.
So think about that. That's definitely one aspect of it, right? And that's the main thing I'm talking about right now. Mm-hmm. Now think about some of the decisions you made when it came to progress driving, when it came to bunching up, when it came to driving in the left lane, when it came to the roundabout where there's vehicles and the guys all over the place. Do I want to be close to that mess?
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you come from it from a defensive standpoint, not from I must get going, which you must if the road is open. Yes?
But in this instance, the road is definitely
That's starting to close for me. And it's like, what are we doing there? And the left lane, you're driving right up to the guy here.
Yeah.
If you're here, can they move back to the left?
No.
So you're effectively blocking them off from being able to do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's balance. But everything is always decisions are always based upon risk. Is it worth it? Should I? We've got somebody here. Okay. Just one sec. We are going to talk a little bit more off camera about some of it. So your biggest weakness, defensive driving is definitely an issue for me. The planning a little bit, you do need a little bit of planning. The gears, I want that better control. Mirrors are a little bit intermittent, but they're okay. I didn't massively fault them today. I want pairs, really. But you're checking left, you're checking right when you're doing stuff, so that's all good. And because of the planning, we're a little bit reactive. But we're going to talk about this off camera, okay? Because you, my friend, we've already talked about that, haven't we? Okay, so this is going to die. You see that 5%? This has been Ibrahim's Part 2 mock. I really hope that you get some value out of this. You are going to get some value out of this.
Definitely.
You've got no choice. I really hope you get some value out of this video. If you do, hit that like button, subscribe if you like more content, and then I will see you in the next one. Get well out.
See you later.
See you later.